Hello, hello, and welcome to another Everyday Rants. This is Dave, and this is podcast number 7 coming your way. And man, am I excited. Kathy and I were Powerball winners. Yes, we were. Now, no, we didn't win the $1.5 billion. We won a whopping $11. And as like I said to my wife this morning, we're actually still negative $9 because we bought $20 worth of tickets. So there you go. It's Thursday, and I did not win $1 billion. How dare they? I gotta go back to living my regular, normal life. Oh well. Well, now that the Powerball sweepstakes are over and done, back to reality. Stop all this dreaming, all this daydreaming. Now I got to focus on my Super Bowl boxes that I do with family, friends, coworkers, my wife's coworkers, stuff like that. And can't wait to tell everybody that they're $50 boxes and have everybody balk at me. Oh my God, that's so expensive. It's $50 and I have payouts up the kazoo. There are payouts all over the place. I set $2,000 of that aside. That's going to be split between all the score changes. So that could have a ton of people involved in that sweepstakes. Then I do first quarter and third quarter. I do the same amount. Payouts $125 to the winning box. I'm sorry, $250 to the winning box. And then all the boxes touching that winning box, they split $125. Halftime, I'm doing a $500 payout for the box. Boxes touching that are going to split $250. And then the final will be a payout of $1,000. And then the boxes touching that winning box will split $500. So, I mean, I have payouts all over the place. So, I mean, really, to get involved in this, and if you don't walk away with anything, I mean, holy crap, you have some really bad luck. But I can't wait till I send everybody that, and, for $50, or if they want to get two, it's $100. I can't wait to have people balk at me. That's so expensive. Meanwhile, remind you, all these idiots just spent hundreds probably of dollars on stupid little pieces of paper for a Powerball winning that you had, I probably had a better chance. I'm not even kidding you. I probably had a better chance of getting struck with lightning while with Kate Upton swimming in a pool full of sharks. There you go. That is as extreme and crazy as I could think. And I probably have a better chance of doing that than I did of winning that Powerball. But I'll have people go, oh my God, $50 for a ticket. Yeah, but you have 1 in 100 chance of winning tons of money because there's payouts everywhere. The logic of people will kill me now in the next couple of weeks when they bitch and moan about the $50 buy-in for a box in my Super Bowl pool. Anyway, so today is a sad day for moviegoers and nerd fans and stuff like that. Alan Rickman passed away today. Another great performer done in by cancer. This cancer's a bitch, man. This cancer is a bitch. It is probably one of the things that scares me the most, is cancer, any type of cancer. Myself getting it or someone I love getting it. It's scary. Cancer scares me, and then, believe it or not, Alzheimer's scares me. And then, Alzheimer's doesn't run in my family that I know of, but there's just something about the fact that, one day you wake up and you lost every memory you ever created. That scares the living shit out of me. And cancer just scares me already. Everything I do, I'm always sitting there going, oh my God, is this going to call cancer? But, I realize you can't live that way. Otherwise, keep me in my house, take away all the Wi-Fi around me. No phones, no nothing. What am I going to do? But it's a scary thing. And it shows you, when these powerful and famous and super loaded celebrities pass away from it, it shows you that cancer doesn't stop at anybody. It'll take the lady down the road. It'll take my neighbor. It could take a family member. It could take me. But it could also take down famous singers and actors and actresses and athletes, and it's just crazy. It's a scary thing, and the fact that we don't have a cure for it now is kind of baffling. Like you would think we have some of the smartest people in this world working on medicine and stuff like that. They can't. How can we not find a cure for this yet? But hopefully they do. Because like I said, it scares me. Cancer really does scare me. But yeah, Alan Rickman passed away. And, one thing I'll say about Alan Rickman now, believe it or not, some people are going to think I'm crazy or whatever, but I've never seen the Harry Potter films. I've always wanted to get into them, but I never got into them, and I want to, but now it just seems so overwhelming because I know there's so many movies. But I don't know Alan Rickman from the Harry Potter series. Three of my favorite movies that I remember him in, of course, was Die Hard. I mean, what kid of the 80s, 90s didn't grow up watching Die Hard with Bruce Willis? Wonderful Christmas movie to watch with the family. Rickman played the bad guy, the villain. He was awesome. And then, of course, he was in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, the one with Kevin Costner, which was a fantastic movie. I remember watching that as a kid. I remember my dad took my brother and I, this had to be in the mid-90s, to a drive-in movie theater over here on Long Island, one of the last ones, I guess, that were around, and we saw that movie. I'm pretty positive it was a drive-in movie theater. I remember him taking us to see that, and I think Terminator 2, when that came out also, in a drive-in. My memory could be a little fuzzy, but I do remember, for some reason I remember that. And, drive-in movie theaters are a thing of the past, and I miss those so much. I keep trying to find some, like in Pennsylvania or upstate New York, they have some, but they're so far. I would love to go away and just, like, for a weekend and take the girls to a drive-in movie theater, because they don't understand the concept. When I talk about it, they don't understand, like, what do you mean you sat in your car? I'm like, no, the movie was there, you sat in your car, you had the little, remember they used to give you the radio first, then they started playing it through the stereo? And they just don't get the concept, and I just remember it was so cool, so fun. I remember being a kid, and those drive-in movie theaters were awesome. But I remember seeing Robin Hood, and that was a good movie. And Rickman was in that. He played the villain again. He played the Sheriff of Nottingham, I believe. And then he was in Dogma, which is one of my favorite Kevin Smith movies. Dogma with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. The great George Carlin was in it. Chris Rock. Ton of people. Rickman, obviously. But yeah, so those are my three favorite Alan Rickman movies that I'm familiar. I've seen other ones. I know he was in Love Actually, which I saw. He's been in some other ones I've seen. But those are my three favorite movies that starred Alan Rickman. So, rest in peace, Alan, Mr. Rickman. What a shame. And then earlier this week, again to cancer, we lost the great David Bowie. What a great artist. Musically, was in some movies and stuff, but musically the guy was a genius. What he came up with, Ziggy Stardust, all that stuff, all the personas, all the characters. David Bowie is a real talent, and he's someone I'm going to really miss, because I really did enjoy his music. I'm not talking about the normal hits, which were all great. Space Oddity, rewind, continue. Space Oddity, Let's Dance, Changes, Modern Love, all those, great. Love them. I have I have the CDs. Love them. But some of the ones I love from him are a little, like, I love Dancing in the Street, the duo that he did with Mick Jagger from the Stones. And then, of course, one of my favorite movies growing up was Labyrinth, with him and a young Jennifer Connelly. And that magic dance scene is hilarious. And it's funny because on our YouTube channel, back in, I think it had to be March or April of 2015, we were trying to come up with a trailer for our channel. And we had just opened up a loot crate. I think it was like fantasy themed or something like that. And it came with like I think it was, I was wearing like a red Dungeons and Dragons t-shirt, and it came with a weird bow tie that I put on. And Lauren was in like her weird pajama set that she got from for Christmas, like a unicorn. And we took that clip, and I remember Anthony put it to the Magic Dance theme, and I loved it. I was like, oh my god, this is great. And only real true hardcore 80s, 90s kids will get it with that song, from Labyrinth. And I mean, that was such a great movie. I loved watching that as a kid. And, David Bowie's just awesome in that as well. And that song is just so catchy. And then, of course, he had Heroes, which was one of my favorite songs. But one of my real favorite songs from Bowie is Life on Mars. And I didn't really become aware of this song, to be honest with you, until that show called Life on Mars premiered. It was on the air for only one season a couple years ago. I don't remember how long ago it was. And I think it was on, I want to say ABC, but I could be wrong. And it starred, I forgot the guy's name. He also went on to do this show on Fox, I think, where like they were surrounded by dinosaurs in the past or an alternate universe. I don't know. I forgot the guy's name, but it was called Life on Mars, and it was about a detective who gets in an accident and then wakes up, and he's like back in the 1970s or something like that. Then it turns out this whole weird thing that like they were in space or whatever. I don't know. The ending was kooky, but they only had one season. They had to wrap it up. Ratings weren't good. So that's how they ended it. But they used to play that song, Life on Mars, all the time. And I loved it. And I was like, who sings that? I was like, because it sounds familiar. So I Googled it. And, of course, it was Bowie. And I was like, this song's awesome. And that's probably one of my favorite David Bowie songs now is Life on Mars. So if you've never heard it, go check it out. David Bowie, Life on Mars. Great song. Great song. But again, rest in peace to Mr. Bowie, David Bowie, and Alan Rickman. They really, really need to do something with this cancer. And everybody, I don't want to say anything cliche like we have to stand up to cancer or whatever, but we need to find a cure to beat this because it's taken way too many people. And I'm not just talking about famous, I'm talking about just people in general. And it's a scary thing. It is a very scary thing when you wake up every day and you're hearing about someone new being diagnosed or suffering or passing away from cancer. So, sorry I just drug you down that, negative tunnel. But let's try to get back here. So I just finished watching on Netflix. I finally started and finished it now. Jessica Jones. That's the new Marvel series on Netflix. And I gotta say, like I said, I was a Marvel fanboy. I followed a lot of Marvel, but I didn't really know much about the Jessica Jones character. But I gotta say, the show was fantastic. Was it like Daredevil? It was just as dark, which was perfect. I'd probably say I like Daredevil a little more. Just a tad bit. Jessica Jones was really good, though. Really good. They had Luke Cage was in it. They introduced to the Marvel world. Purple Man, which was Kilgrave, played by I don't know if I'm saying the guy's name right. I think it's David Tennant or something like that. I know he played Doctor Who because he looks very familiar, but he was fantastic. What a great actor. And Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones is great. I liked Kristen Ritter when she had her show Don't Trust the Bitch in Apartment whatever. I actually thought that was a funny show with James Van Der Beek and stuff. And she was also in Breaking Bad fame, which I didn't like her, because she went against Walt. No one goes against Walt. Heisenberg. But, Jessica Jones on Netflix. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Definitely cool. And I like how at the end of that, they started to tie in a little bit of the Daredevil series. Because I think I've read that they want to, do some cross stuff with the two, which is great. But Jessica Jones was a great season. It's 13 episodes. I think it was 13 or 12 episodes. Just really good. I mean, I love how dark it gets. I like that the shows are getting darker. I wish the movies would get a little darker, because Avengers, they're all cutesy, haha, and they're trying to placate to the kids. They want to get that PG, those PG kids in there, get the little kids in. But man, I would love them to get a little darker because these Daredevil and Jessica Jones are so dark. Just like Gotham on Fox, which is fantastic. It's a dark, gritty, comic book-esque show, which is fantastic. But if you haven't checked it out, check out Jessica Jones on Netflix. And if you're at it and you haven't watched it, check out Daredevil. Because Daredevil is awesome as well. And while you're at it, if you're on Netflix and they have it up there, I think they do. If not, go over to Hulu. Check out Gotham season 1 if you haven't watched that, because we're now in, I think, halfway through season 2. Gotham's another great show. And then last thing I'll talk about today, I'm going to try to keep this one short. We'll go into the WWE. I'm all caught up on Raw, so we'll talk real quick. I know they're getting ready. They're setting up the Royal Rumble, which is going to be on Sunday the 24th of January at 8 p.m. You know where to find it, on the WWE Network, where you will get it for free, and then you'll end up paying $9.99 a month. Or like me, when I first got it, when it first started, you never get anything for free, and you just pay $9.99 every month, and never get a damn month free. But anyway, so they're setting up for the Royal Rumble. They have Vince McMahon and Stephanie still going strong after Roman Reigns, because he's the champ that, went against the authority and everything, blah, blah, blah. The Royal Rumble itself will be for the WWE Heavyweight Championship, which is cool. It adds another dimension to the Royal Rumble itself. But what I'm wondering is, if they're building up Reigns so much for this, either he's going to win the Rumble and retain his title, or of course, there's going to be some huge screw job. Like Vince will come out, distract him, he'll get eliminated or something like that. But we'll get further into predictions and stuff later on. I also want to try next week to set up I'm trying to set up I want to try to set up a live stream with a couple of the YouTubers to do a little brief, Royal Rumble preview prediction episode video. So hopefully that'll be coming soon, and I could make an announcement who will be involved and stuff with that. But yeah, so they're setting it up. So at the end of Raw, they had a big, one versus all, Roman Reigns versus like the whole roster. But then Brock comes out and just like laid everybody out, even Roman. So that was cool because Brock gets a huge pop. He's great. Everybody loves Brock Lesnar. I'm trying to think what else happened on Raw that was significant. Jericho was back. One thing, he was involved with the New Day, which are great. New Day's fantastic, and then the Usos, which, is it me or the Usos overrated? I don't understand the hype on the Usos. Is it just because of who their father was and who their family bloodlines are? Because I don't get it. I'm not a big Usos fan. I just don't see it. I don't know what the big fuss is about the Usos. I really don't. I really, really don't. I'd rather see the Dudley Boys in that role, or hell, I'd even like to see the Primetime Players. They're not my favorite, but I'd actually prefer them over the Usos. We even get the Ascension in there finally. They totally misused the Ascension. I don't really get the Usos. I'm not big into their whole thing, so I really don't care. Whatever keeps the titles on the New Day is fine with me, and hopefully they don't give them to the Usos. Unless they have bigger plans for the people in the guys in New Day. But anyway, and the U.S. title changed. Alberto Del Rio put the title up against Kalisto from the Lucha Dragons. I guess they had to find something for Kalisto to do since Sin Cara is out with an injury. Seems like half the roster's out with an injury. But yeah, Kalisto won in an upset the U.S. title from Alberto Del Rio. So that was interesting. I don't know. Kalisto seems like a cool little guy. It kind of reminds me of like a Rey Mysterio. Like an updated Rey Mysterio, but to me, I don't know if he's as talented. Because Rey Mysterio was awesome. So that's really went on. I don't really know what else. I'm trying to remember, go back, see what else happened. I don't think anything else really that huge happened. Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose going back and forth. They'll probably fight for the Intercontinental title at the Rumble. You'll probably have New Day versus the Usos for the tag team titles at the Rumble. Maybe you'll get a Kalisto Alberto Del Rio rematch for the title. The Divas title you haven't seen on Raw in a while. Now that I think about it, I haven't seen Charlotte in a while. So I don't know what's going on with that, unless they're maybe keeping it strictly to SmackDown. I don't watch SmackDown. I don't bother because it's useless. Nothing really important ever happens there. But that's what's going on so far in the WWE. We'll get more into that as we get into this final week, headed into the Royal Rumble and the road to WrestleMania. And this will wrap up podcast number 7. Thanks again, guys and gals, for listening. Again, I do appreciate it. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to what I have to say and ramble about and go on and rant about. But I do appreciate it. Love you all. Remember, you could download us for free on SoundCloud. And you could also find us over at Everyday Geek. That's our YouTube channel. You can find the rants on there as well. If you would like to comment there, we'll definitely get back to you. And you can like, share, and subscribe while you're at it and see all the other stuff that we're doing. And you could also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just look up Everyday Geek TV. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Adios.